Mid and East Antrim looks forward to welcoming the Royal Horticultural Society Britain in Bloom judges each summer. This year we are submitting a video entry instead. We hope that this will show that Ballymena is still blooming, despite the challenging circumstances. Good luck, Ballymena.
Ballymena BID is the business improvement district for the Ballymena town centre area. We're here to help businesses and grow sales and also boost footfall within the town centre. We're also here to improve the environment and the safety of Ballymena to make it a more pleasurable experience for everybody who works here, shops here, eats here and sleeps here. COVID was a very, very difficult time for everybody. With Ballymena being predominantly retail, we did find that the most of the town centre was closed, and 73% of our retailers are actually also independent retailers, so family-run businesses. Some of them have been here for 30 plus years. Personally, I feel the retailers in Ballymena have taken it head on and they've adapted to the circumstances to make it a very, very safe shopping town. I wholeheartedly believe that having some beautiful flower boxes throughout the town creates atmosphere and a welcoming environment for the shoppers. Even the shops that have planters outside their windows becomes more inviting and draws people in. So 2 years ago, Ballymena introduced the Ballymena floral bears, which are located at key parts throughout the town. They're very, very visually appealing and they boost the environment too.
Here we have the Ballymena Bears. They were a new addition to Ballymena Town Centre in 2019. They were funded by Ballymena Business Improvement District and are delivered year on year now in partnership with Mid and East Antrim Borough Council. The bears were thought of as an additional feature within the town centre to attract new visitors and new business to the town. Off of the great interest in the bears, the council now, using COVID relief funds, will be developing a number of new innovative features in the town, including living walls and parklets. So as you can see, the Ballymena bears are made up of thousands of succulents. They are put in by hand by our team of specialist horticulturalists here at Waveney Centre in Ballymena. We are very proud to have the Ballymena bears who help put horticulture in the spotlight in Ballymena town.
We've loads of outdoor seating all at key areas, especially in and around our shopping centres. We're also hopefully going to be introducing parklets in the coming months as well, outside some eateries. And we have just introduced a chatty bench in conjunction with council.
So the play park here in People's Park reopened March 2021 after an extensive refurbishment. So we've got lots of equipment here for all abilities, ensuring that everyone can play together. So including the disability swing, which is just behind me, we have a roundabout which can be used by wheelchair users and all abilities, and also trampolines, which are very popular. The play park was fully funded by Mid and East Antrim Borough Council, demonstrating the council's commitment to improving parks for everybody. The park is really busy. This can be quite overwhelming for some people. So on Tuesday afternoon, every week we have quiet hour here at People's Park. In addition to the fixed play that you can see behind me, we also have a forest school session here and sensory play. This is the People's Park Community Garden. This is a fantastic resource for the local people. The probation board have been involved in maintaining it in recent months, and also we have a few volunteers that come in and spend their time looking after the beds and making sure that things are growing. The base group, which are adults with learning difficulties group that are based in the People's Park Pavilion, use it to come out, spend time in the open air, spend time with other people and also get some exercise.
Hi, I'm Colin Johnston. I'm the Managing Director of Gallagher and Span Golf Resort. The resort currently employs 750 employees with a wage bill going north of 11 million a year. Turnover is heading towards 30 million a year. The visitor mix is quite varied. 2/3 of the market coming for the bedrooms is from Northern Ireland, with the rest out of state. The resort has won a number of international awards. We won Best Spa Resort in Western Europe at the World Luxury Hotel Awards, and we won a Condé Nast Travel Award in 2019. So the resort over the years has played an integral part in the local community. We sponsor a number of local sports clubs, right through GAA, rugby, hockey. That in turn then has led us into the local school network, and we sponsor a number of local schools at different levels, primary and secondary education. and we also work with a number of the community partnerships and community groups on the ground, just in a number of projects, whether it be wildlife driven, forestry driven. Currently we are working with the Cullabackie Community Partnership to extend the river path. Currently the path runs from Cullabackie through onto the resort, and we're keen to extend the path from the resort down onto the next village, which is Galgorm, to create a 3.5 mile complete walkway for cycling, walking for the local community and guests. We have also worked with council on a number of sponsorship agreements with the roundabouts. We feel these benefit the local area substantially because we can generate a welcome long before people actually arrive to the resort, through signage, through flower planting, and through just generally being involved in the local area and keeping the place as tidy as possible. The resort boasts 168 acres, a mixture of parkland, formal landscaped gardens and wooded areas, and we've worked with a number of organisations to maintain these, right through the Woodland Trust, local council, and then ourselves partnering with a number of private organisations for planting and new ideas to enhance the local landscape.
The Ecos Nature Park is important for lots of reasons, but primarily really it's a floodplain. So everything that we do here has to reflect the fact that the site can flood and does flood quite regularly. It's called flash flooding. So what happens is that if this area is flooded, it means that things downstream, businesses, homes aren't flooded. So it's really important that we maintain this as a floodplain, and everything we plant reflects that. So there's really important planting has taken place over the far side of the site, primarily to provide a buffer between the site and the motorway, which makes it a more pleasant place to walk, but also the trees planted reflect the fact that quite often their roots will be in water. So the site is very much a nature park. It doesn't need to be highly maintained, so it provides really important habitat for biodiversity. The site also provides a really important area for people. There's lots of people that live in a very close walk to this site, and they also use it as a walk from Ballykeil through to the town. So you can see people walking to and from work, and also lots of families use this site throughout the week.
How you doing? I'm Frank McCook, and with my family here we run the Slemish Market Garden in Ballymena. Now, we're here 20 years, although we've been doing this a lifetime, but we've been on this site now 20 years. Great believers in biodynamic gardening. We just grow vegetables in as natural a way as is humanly possible. It's wonderful what you can do when your back's against the wall, and Ballymena is a wonderful place. The people here have backed us beyond belief. They've taken the whole grow local, buy local thing to heart, and our business has actually boomed. And we're so lucky that we're still healthy and able to do it and upright, and we just keep on going. And mind you, me and my wife are no spring chickens, but we just keep on going. We keep blattering away, and it's amazing what can be grown. We really have this love of growing cottage garden plants. We would do everything from all the root vegetables right through all the brassicas. We have polytunnels and polytunnels full of strawberries, which is a mighty crop. We have so much stuff. I'm a great believer, and there's a place in the whole ecosystem for everything. Everything has its place. And we keep bees here. People get panicked about wasps. Wasps are great pollinators, and they get a bad press. But we do have things like bullfinches, the goldfinches and greenfinches. We even at times here we've got a woodpecker, which I've practically unheard of in County Antrim. But everything, as I say, everything has its wee place in the whole system. And as long as you don't mess with that, you're going to have the perfect ecosystem. And that's what the Ecos Centre here in Ballymena is all about.
This garden was funded by the Northern Health and Social Care Trust as an autism awareness garden. So the idea here is that groups will come along and take part in planting these beds up and make the site beautiful for visitors walking through. The site's also been really important for the volunteers. That's people that live in the area, and that's Friends of Ecos. So they do a lot of work in keeping these beds looking the way they are, and they're instrumental in making decisions about how well the site works and what we do on the site.
Hi everybody, my name is Billy Miller. I'm Chairman of Brookville Enterprises, who runs this project out here in Tullygarly called the Scholarly Allotment. Our primary aim is to support mental health and well-being of the community of South Ballymena through a project that started about 7 years ago now, and through that time, excuse the pun, has grown to the size that we have today. Brookville Enterprises would have a membership of about 25 people, all who use the facilities we have to different levels. Some would have a couple of beds, some got heavily involved in the project, but we leave it very open so that it suits the personal needs of people. We have guys who can't no longer work because of physical disabilities. We have guys who've been made redundant and have more time to spend. So we do our best to keep all options open so that we can attract more and more people. And in fact, at the moment we're looking for more space because we're oversubscribed, and that's a great sign. The other good thing about places like this allotments, as we leave COVID, is that the wide open spaces allows you to freely mingle, and that's what we've been able to do right through the COVID pandemic and keep our members and our patrons safe. You'll find a massive range of stuff here from above my head. You'll see the grapes starting to form on our vine, right through the potatoes and radish and lettuce and scallion. Garlic is now being harvested. We grew over winter. Our winter onions are now being harvested, and now we're beginning to think about Christmas, and we're beginning to think about our parsnips and our carrots, our Brussels sprouts, and another set of potatoes. And this plot is actually funded by the East Antrim Piece 4 initiative that's just come to an end. And in this plot here, we welcome individuals and families to come along, and they take 1 bed or 2 beds each. And at the moment, we don't charge anything, but our main thing again is to encourage them out, get them out into Tullygarly, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the atmosphere, meet new friends. Earlier on there I mentioned some of our produce. I'm standing beside, as you can see, our peas are starting to develop, as is our courgettes. I could also say at this point that we also have a covered area, and from the covered area that we now hope to bring groups of people. We're also experimenting in environmental support, because we're trying to catch the water coming off the roof, and then we'll recycle the water and saving the water bill of the facility. Plans going forward would be to make the project self-sustainable. We'll maybe expand on the eating situation, invite people to come and use the facilities. This year already we have sold tomatoes, we have sold strawberries, sold Brussels sprouts. We'll expand on that next year. Possibly some plug plants for your hanging baskets. We're embarking on a plot to plate initiative, where we will use the produce that we were growing, and that will be passed on either in the form of relishes or sauces or soups, but also as uncooked vegetable into clubs and hotels. And we're working on our first deal now with a small enterprise in South Ballymena, and hopefully soon to come you will see the Scholarly Allotment on the menus in local bars, restaurants, etc.
The Parks and Open Spaces team has been working towards becoming more sustainable and focusing on reducing energy and water usage. The team use water from boreholes and use smart technology such as self-watering baskets in order to reduce water use. The team grew 80% of floral bedding in-house in our polytunnels at the Waveney Road facilities. This ensures we have more control over the plants growing. There's less energy used during transportation, and there's less water wastage. There's also smart technology in the polytunnels, which means segments can be cordoned off to ensure water is only used on areas where it's needed, and the heat can be regulated across the polytunnels, again much more sustainable. Council has committed to reducing herbicide usage by 15% year on year, and our staff are trialling new methods such as foam and flame to get rid of weeds without herbicide use. The team has been moving away from more traditional bedding and focusing instead on sustainable bedding such as wildflower meadows and pastures, shrubs and trees. We've also done an extensive educational campaign with the public to educate on what is and what isn't a weed and why all plants are important. In 2019, our council committed to planting 58,000 trees as part of the MEA for Trees campaign. Planting native species of trees is hopefully going to help council reduce our carbon emissions and help us become carbon neutral in the future. We partner Woodland Trust on this initiative, and as of this year we've planted just over 50,000 trees. We'll soon be looking to increase this target and again work with our partners Woodland Trust and other landowners in the borough such as NI Water, Northern Ireland Housing Executive and the Education Authority to enable us to increase our tree planting targets.